So give me a second, just get everything ready here. All right, so let's get started here. Let's look at dollar index here. I want to kind of see for the upcoming week. Certainly, I'm seeing lots of potential on the dollar pairs, and dollar index is certainly giving us a clue, or at least, kind of a signal signaling that we might be seeing potential reversal from most of the dollars. And some of the dollar pairs that I'm going to go over after already moved. So just give us more confluence when you see most of them are shaping up to that reversal or dollar strength that's coming up. So when I'm looking here at the dollar index, talk about that price was in this kind of a correctional structure for a period of time now, and it looks like we're potentially breaking out. And remember, I always talk about, don't jump in when price just breaks out from trend lines or whatever. Confirmation will be looking for a continuation correction, because this can just easily kind of pop back to the downside, and then, structurally it's just evolving to like this, and still reverse from the bottom, and you don't want to get trapped into something like this. So personally, I will be kind of just waiting to see, can we just get a little bit more push up from this correction, and then continuation correction for the go. I think that would be very nice to look for entries on most of the dollars. So this gives you a clue that we might be seeing temporarily dollar strength. We don't know how far this move can go or how deep. But higher time frame wise, if we zoom out here, we're getting close to that double bottom area, right? And I mentioned price doesn't need to necessarily hit a double bottom or break it or whatever. It's all about how the price gets there, on the lower time frame. Are we getting reversal price action? Are we seeing a little bit more development on the lower time frame to give us a little bit more confluence for the potential reversal? All right, so that's dollar index, which is going to be shaping up for most of the dollar pairs that I'm looking at. Dollar, Aussie dollar, we talked about this way before when price is still developing. I mentioned there's a possibility that we can just push up to the top, and then once it kind of forms reversal correction from the top here, we might be seeing that reversal bearish move, right? So we hit the top, we broke down, and forming just correction here. Now we're pretty much halfway in the correction here of this larger structure, which is good. Now that we know that if this is going to be a move that's going to break out from this higher time frame structure, then certainly that we can be expecting more Aussie dollar weakness for the upcoming weeks or month. Okay, so this is all good thing from my view. Don't worry about not jumping into the trade yet. You guys see it from a bigger picture perspective, right? If this structure completes, we're seeing totally bearish move afterwards. There's so much room to the downside. You just want to capture some of these. All right, so don't get FOMO, right? Fear of missing out, trying to jump in too early when price is still correcting, because there's still a tendency that we can just hit the price, the bottom of the structure, and then we just bounce up and then continue its correction indefinitely. And structurally, nothing changes, right? That's how I always call it. So you want to wait for confirmation. You want to wait for a little bit more commitment, so to speak, from the bearish market if it's going to continue to the downside. All right, so that's Aussie dollar going to Kiwi dollar. Um, Kiwi dollar, very similar like Aussie dollar, right? Talk about that few potential. The best potential now is, we break to the upside and quickly just reverse impulse down, which is exactly what price is giving us. There's a few correction. Again, it's fine that if you didn't get into these sell, right? I personally enter one of these sell that get taken off for a loss, but I'm fine with that, right? Get price continue down to the profit, and sometimes that happens, guys. I don't dwell over it too much. It's all about how you consistently move, how you consistently enter these trades, consistently management on them is going to help you to be sustainable in the long run. So what do I see here on Kiwi? We're getting this clear impulse, clear correction. We're breaking down more. So let's see if we can complete this pattern here, right? There's going to be more correction here to push down. Great. Ultimately, I want to see this overall structure to complete. We break out and then further correction down. As you can see, similar like Aussie dollar, we're still in the higher time frame structure, and certainly that if we can get a completion of this price action here, further downside is expected, at least to the lows here, and more opportunity to get in. Okay, so don't get trapped into some mindset where I need to enter now. Price is moving away from me, right? This is when the market tend to, the way how I phrase it is punish those traders who are, too greedy or too with the fear of missing out mindset. You want to be consistent in the market, then look for consistent entries and consistent management. US 30, yeah, I'm gonna go over indices later on, so just stay with me for sure. I'll go over those. Um, let's continue. Hey, Silky, nice to see you guys. So let's continue. Euro dollar, same idea, right? We're pushing down now. This is great, right? We have this push to the upside, which is what price did, and then we quickly break out from that, right? So like Sam mentioned, either look for a continuation correction, something that's going to be forming, at least showing you that there's going to be further downside involved. So certainly that's what price is doing now, which is great. And ultimately, you want to see this overall structure. Are we going to complete this? Because we're breaking down from this ascending channel as expected, which is good. But again, we're getting close to this bottom now. Can we continually going down and then like going to be bouncing off this and then continue going upwards, which is what price has done last few times as well. Okay, so this is kind of the key week now to see, are we going to get further downside from euro dollar, or are we just going to continue more upside because this structure is still even here. So my approach is simple. I won't worry about all this yet. I want to see what price will do if we break out and then continue with the continuation. That's going to be my confirmation to be actually looking for a trade in. Okay, good as the ones I point out. I know some of you guys are always looking at pound dollar. Personally, I'm just not really interested in pound dollar's price action because of this previous pass. I understand that there's a double top. Some of you guys saying this is a pattern short. It certainly is, and certainly could have more further downside as we go. But I mentioned I just don't like how the price has been in the past. There's just clear price action on a few of the other dollar pairs that I look to get involved in. So moving on to dollar yen. Dollar yen is pretty interesting because talk about this dollar yen pair a few times now. I usually don't like to get involved with dollar yen because when I have dollar and yen strength, I don't really like to kind of trade dollar yen because it's kind of choosing one stronger currency against the other. But with the price action here, with what I'm seeing here in the latest bid, it does give me a little bit more bias for the long. I like where price is doing. We had this kind of descending channel, so to speak, that is correcting the price. Certainly is a correction that we're in. This latest bottom here that we see, if you can tell that we had this push down and then really a quick reversal impulse to upside, which is giving you the sign that is this structure almost over? Are we going to see breakout from this? This is likely to happen if this correction finishes. So the key to wait for correction finishes obviously is doing down to the lower time frame. We had this bullish push to the upside. Are we going to form a correction here, or are we just going to simply break out now? Either or, I'm only going to get involved if we actually continue this bullish move and then bullish continuation to the upside. Certainly, this is something I get involved. So certainly, lots of risk reward to be made, even just at the top of this correction here. Right, this is something that certainly I will be looking for if we get the right price action here on the lower time frame and for this upcoming week. If we just this structure that we've been talking about is just a small piece of this larger, bigger structure that we're currently in. And I expect that if this is that strong bullish move that we have seen, this is just a larger, deeper year of correction. Can we see this correction be the first lead to push out on the bullish move and then eventually break out? Certainly, this will take months or years to complete, but it's good to have some bias on the higher time frame and some bias on the lower time frame. So that is my take on dollar yen. Still developing, not in any of these trades, but certainly can work out in the upcoming days or weeks. So let's continue here. Dollar Singapore dollar, dollar Singapore dollar. Again, I have been talking about this for quite some time, and still not ready. But I do like how the price action is. This is how I distinguish when you choose, multiple dollar pairs or multiple yen pairs. You gotta distinguish which ones are looking better in terms of price, and those are going to be the one that you focus more. So here, a dollar Singapore dollar, still waiting to see what price will do in this kind of descending channel. For sure, certainly that we're correcting now. It's not in a impulsive phrase that we have seen in the past. So waiting for to see if we are just going to continue this bullish move. This is what I expect the price to do eventually when this correction finishes. And then we're going to see that strong bullish push to the outside and then continue to its at least to the next top, at least to the top of this correction here. This is kind of how I'm looking at as a first potential. And if we can break above it, continue, and certainly looking for more dollar strength in the upcoming months or so. Zooming out here, we have been dropping quite a bit here on dollar Singapore dollar, but I like how we're clearly in a correction rather than an impulsive. Price can only be in an impulsive phrase or it can only be a correction phrase, right? Impulsive phrase, correction phrase. So impulsive phrase, correction phrase that we're in, expecting the impulsive phrase to reverse. Dollars are also looking at this as well. See, sometimes a few dollar pairs will move a little bit faster. So same thing as dollar Singapore dollar, we had that descending channel and then price bullish push to the upside, which is great. Again, push to the upside, looking for continuation, right? Maybe small continuation here could be possible, and take out for break even. That's how I usually would take. But I didn't get involved with this. I was waiting for a bigger correction if that's going to make. Right now, it's not looking like it's making anything. Okay, so be a little bit more patient. Get a little bit more structure in as well. Are we seeing this as a channel structure? To me, not really. I expect maybe something bigger, at least two bottoms and two tops, at least to form a correction here and to continue the bullish move like so. Okay, and just zooming out here on the higher time frame, I like how we had pretty much impulse down, correction, and then we had that bullish impulse up now. So lower time frame is the key here to develop something to continue the bullish move. Okay, so expect something like this to develop in the upcoming week. Hey everyone, hope you're well. Hope you're well too, guys. Hope everyone's well. So nice to see you guys. Let's go into a few other ones that are looking pretty clean now. So Aussie CAD is certainly looking pretty clean now. We talk about Aussie CAD again. Price can until we break out, and this is key why I mentioned don't just jump into trades within the correction. You want to wait for a confirmation breakout and confirmation correction. So in this case, we kind of continue going upside. We pretty much just extend this correction, and then finally we're breaking out now. Looking for continuation. I was looking at this as a possible continuation. Um, I was choosing this between Aussie Yen. I decided to go with Aussie Yen, which I'll go over after, just because how I manage my risks. I wanted just to get involved in one currency at a time, not more. So one is fine. If I was in Aussie Yen, I'm fine skipping the other Aussie pairs. So in this case, I do like the price. I had this breakout. We kind of pulled back to form a kind of a channel correction, and then we pushed down again. And I was looking at this correction to possibly get in, like I said, but didn't get involved with this one. But that's fine. Still way lots of room to the downside, right? So I'm not worried. If I can get the Aussie Yen position to break even or in profit, maybe I can look to get into other Aussie pairs as well. So looking at the price action here, we know that this was the previous kind of double top area. Price is reacting to it. And remember, double top, same thing as what went over for dollar index. Sometimes it will break above, sometimes it won't. It's all about how the price gets there. So this is certainly a correction, ascending channel structure kind of correction. So we're in a correction phase. So we broke the double top, which is good. And then eventually we're seeing some sort of bearish price action. This is how we're going to, filter out trades when they're ready for that reversal or they're still correcting as as correction goes on. So my approach is simple. There is better trades to get in. You look at first potential target to the lows here, and then if we can break above below that and continue, certainly expect the next low as a potential target. Okay, we're still at the top of the overall price action. We're looking very clean, at least for, and certainly my kind of experience, we can see pullback at least to the lows here, and then we'll kind of reevaluate to see what the price will do. Aussie Swiss, same idea. Aussie Swiss hit this kind of double top area. Again, if price didn't break out followed by a continuation, that means it can just kind of reverse back on continuously until it drops, right? So this is key here is we continue to go outside. You see this potentially breaking up, but there is no continuation correction. So that's a sign that the correction isn't finished. We have to expand or evolve the correction now because it's not ready. So now you see the same idea that we are still within this correction here, even though we have pretty good clean kind of price action, this push down, pull back kind of a channel. We have this reason double top, but yet we're not out of this correction yet. Okay, so that's the key between filtering out the trades. So certainly this can be pushing down more and more and more, but my approach is the same. We have to break up out of this correction to give you that first confirmation, and then second confirmation to look for continuations. That's going to help you to not get into mediocre trades, in my opinion, and that's going to help you save some capitals as well if you manage to trade this way. And if you guys recall, I always talk about that there's no right and wrong in trading. There's different entries. You want to enter from the top, that's fine as long as you have a strategy with that. But understanding when you do that, it's high risk, high reward, right? Certainly there's no confirmation yet. So of course, sometimes, some of the time, probability wise, trade can work out. You'll be in massive profit, but a lot of times you might get take out, whatever your plan is to manage it. Otherwise, the safer side would be waiting for a little bit more confirmation. That's my approach on these. Opinion. I don't know what that is, to be honest. Sorry. So let's talk about Aussie Yen here. So I'm in Aussie Yen. This is the second Aussie Yen trade I in. The first trade I got out for a loss. I went over this in my weekly trade recap video. So if you're interested, you can watch that. I went over my trade. First trade I got back in. So let's look at this same approach. We know the higher time frame is looking very clean. We're in this kind of larger kind of expanding correction. You can see that this was the previous kind of swing high area, and the price is certainly reacting to this larger structure as well. Remember, a structure for me is at least 2 swing highs and 2 swing lows. 3 could be better, right? And this is certainly it's showing us here from a higher time frame. And lower time frame wise, I mentioned that ideally price can make another push to the upside, right? Which is kind of what price did. We pushed the upside and then we pushed down, which is giving us here as a ascending channel. We pushed down, and then this was the correction I got in for the first trade, took out for a loss. But I knew that it's just likely price is going to form a bigger correction now. So which is I waited for this correction to finish. I saw that there's 2 swing highs and 2 swing lows, and then that we had this kind of impulsively break to the downside. I was already watching the price around somewhere here, but I waited for a more clear kind of breakout, wider stop loss. That was fine with me. I'm happy to take a trade that's a little bit safer because I took a loss just prior. So happy to be with a larger stop loss, looking for possibility to the downside, right? And so just down to the lows here is about 3 to 1 already, which fits my plan. But ultimately, I want to see price to continue downwards and continue with the continuation correction. Same thing like this, something in terms of size or scale, and then I can look for scale in the opportunity to the downside to the lows. Right, so that is Aussie Yen still in. I already moved my stop loss to break even. Just my risk management plan once we break the previous low. Already 1 to All right, so that's Aussie Yen. Let's move on to a few other yen pairs. Euro Yen is moving beautifully. Euro Yen is certainly something that could get involved if Aussie Yen can move to can get to 1-to-1 or so. So remember, I'm not interested unless price breaks out. Right, this is what I talk about when we see past price action is when they push to the downside, they did not continue and they just kind of pull back after, and that shows you that this larger correction is still we want to wait for the channel to finish correcting before looking for downside, right? So this is good. We see this impulsive move tweaking to the downside. There was actually a small correction here, in my opinion, but I wasn't interested in it. Now that we break it pretty impulsively, looking for a larger continuation, right? Looking for a larger continuation to form here. We broke this previous low as well, which is great. So there's lots of room to the downside, right? So don't worry about missing some profit here. The main profit you can make is all the way down to the lows here. Okay, so lots of room to the downside. Don't get fear of missing out. All right, don't even jump into this area. You want to wait for some sort of lower time frame development. All right, we already pushed down massively. It's time for a correction to happen. Right, so don't jump in with your tight stop loss or whatever. Wait for something to develop here to look for continuations. Okay, so that is Euro Yen. Hello, how's it going? Kiwi Yen. So Kiwi Yen is also looking great now. I think Kiwi Yen wasn't looking as good, but now is developing into something that I really like now. It's very similar like Aussie Yen now, which is great. If we zoom out here on the Kiwi Yen, um, on the higher time frame here, you can see that we had this kind of extension of this ascending channel now with prices pushing up, but we're not pushing up impulsively like how an impulsive phrase should be. You notice we're just moving up correctively. There's a big difference. Are we in a correction phrase, which is what this is, right? Correction phrase, or are we in an impulsive phrase, right? You have to identify the two major market conditions. So in my opinion, this is a corrective phrase rather than an impulsive phrase. We broke this kind of previous higher, but are we getting impulsive phrase? Lower time frame, sure, but higher time frame, no, right? We have a push up, correction, push up, and then we pretty much just had a reversal, right? This is a reversal structure. We had the first impulse, first correction. We're looking like we're breaking out now, which is good. So that the higher time frame ascending channel potentially is taking into the effect. So if we zoom out here a little bit, looking at here, again, same approach as a few Aussie pairs that we went over. Don't jump into here yet. Wait for price to break out, right? Wait for price to break out and form a pattern, something like this. This right shoulder, this correction, this continuation correction. Well, once it's developed, I will be looking for a downside to the lows here. Okay, looking very clean now, right? I love when I see head and shoulder pattern at the top of the overall price action. This is key when people ask me about head and shoulder is you're gonna see head and shoulder pretty much everywhere, every time frames, but they're the most effective when they're at the overall top of the overall price action, okay, and they're giving you that reversal price action, right? Because we know head and shoulder is a reversal pattern, a reversal structure. We had a push up correction pulse. Normally we're supposed to get continuation continue, but instead we had a impulse and reversal impulse down and then forming continuation correction. I love these kind of price action. It's a way to signal that the bullish trend that has been is exhausted and we're likely to see the reversal for the price. Okay, so like I said, approach, wait for confirmation breakout, wait for this revert, wait for this impulsive phrase to break out, and then wait for a continuation correction to the lows. Okay, so that is Kiwi Yen here. Kiwi CAD here. Again, Kiwi CAD is a trade I took for a loss as well. I went over this in the weekly trade recap video. Went over this as mentioned that price was looking for a price to break out followed by a continuation, which is what we did here. The entry was here when I took the entry. Pretty much price just pull up here, forming a reversal, and then just continue to the downside. Again, I don't get emotional when it comes to something like this, right? You can have, this is the result. You can take it two different ways. You can take it as, very stress, emotion, and then you're upset that you didn't hold the trade, or you didn't have a wider stop loss, or you can see this as the bearish forecast works out, right? We're breaking out of the structure now. There's certainly lots of room to the downside, at least to the lows here, if not break low and continue lower. So there's more opportunity. Don't get into a fight with your mind, right? I say a lot of new traders do that. When they take a loss, something like this, they'll start blaming themselves, blaming their strategy, or blaming their whatever it is, blaming the market or broker, whatever the case may be. But again, take it different ways. Be consistent in the market, work on your mindset and work on your emotions. So price is breaking down now, which is great. There's a continuation here. Again, I was choosing this trade or Aussie Yen because I took Aussie Yen and Kiwi Cap prior, and I decided to just go with Aussie Yen instead. Happy with the result, happy with what it is now, and looking forward for further downside, right? Because this is the same kind of structure we made, and we had to push down. This is just a larger ascending channel, and we're still getting that impulsive raise to the downside. So the key is now, if we can, continue downwards, breaking this previous low, and then more continuation, then we're certainly seeing this potential bearish reversal to happen. On the higher time frame, you can see that we're just at the tip of the of this reversal structure that we're in now. So certainly, if we just continue breakout followed by larger correction, definitely seeing that continuation to the downside here. All right, so that's my take on Kiwi CAD. Last one going over is Kiwi Swiss. Kiwi Swiss had this kind of ascending channel pushing to the upside. We know that structurally, still in this higher time frame kind of parallel channel structure. Ascending channel moving the price up a little bit, stalling price action, but you can really see that there is a small structure in there. We had this push down, we had this correction, we're pushing out now, which is great. Looking for some sort of continuation. Okay, continuation here would be nice to push the price down to the lows here, and then potentially pushing more and more to the downside. Okay, this is looking good. This is looking better than Euro Kiwi, in my opinion. Usually they're somewhat correlated, but I like Kiwi Swiss a little bit more because of the current as you go. I do see Euro Kiwi and Euro Aussie as a potential. Some of you guys may be seeing these as well. Euro Kiwi potentially can reverse up from here, and Euro Aussie, same idea. We're in this kind of descending channel now, so waiting for the first breakout for the fall would be nice to reverse this price to the upside. All right, so that is my take on all the currency pairs. Any question, guys? Let me know. Where do I update these? Yeah, I update all these in my Telegram, YouTube, things like that. So if you guys are interested, just join my group. You just scroll down the stream, you'll see my Telegram and YouTube links. They're all here anyways. If you're interested, that's where I post those charts, videos, lessons, things like that. If you're interested, just subscribe. Okay. So if no other question, I'm going to continue with other things. Let's go over a few of the indices about you. I'm gonna go over a few of the U.S. ones. Nothing has changed since I talked about these, weeks prior, even before New Year's and all that stuff. To me, most of these indices are just in this larger kind of consolidation. It's clearly that we're correcting. Okay, I mentioned that in my a reversal is very likely to happen. We're at this double top area now. Price is correcting in this area. Doesn't really matter what happens in this area. It can just push up or whatever. But the point is you want to wait for that first bearish confirmation, right? You see prices pushing up, but we're still in this larger correction. We're still within this larger higher time frame structure. So really nothing changes, right? You're still waiting for that first commitment from the price. It looks like we have a little bit already, but to me, as long as price is still in this correction, to me is not too clear yet until we break out followed by a continuation. This is always going to be the safest and the best probability trade in my opinion, to be looking for further downside. And if we zoom out here, there's just so much room to the downside. Even if we manage to break out of that, then we certainly have more price to go to the lows here. Okay, so that is Dow Jones for me. Looking for bearish price action. Waiting for a little bit more development though. Okay. Let's continue. So S&P 500, very similar idea, right? We're in this larger kind of ascending channel now. Price is still correctly moving. Okay, this is not a impulsive phrase, right? This is not impulsive phrase like how the market has been moving, right? These are impulsive phrase that I'm circling, and ascending channel correction. We've seen these over and over again as well, right? So this is clearly showing us very good possibility that we can repeat that similar bearish move. It may not be like the COVID drop, but it certainly can be in a bullish impulsive phrase. Okay, so it's a very key area or key time now to be looking at these kind of indices for potential reversal. All right. So the key, as I mentioned every week when I do these stream, is when you backtest your strategies, when you backtest your analysis, the key is when you see them has happened before, can you identify them before them? In my opinion, separate from good traders and inconsistent trader is a lot of inconsistent traders tend to guess or use emotion to make decisions, whereas consistent trader understands that when they do enough backtesting, when these moves happen over and over again, when you see the opportunity to pop out, you will go to capitalize on it. Okay, so I think that is a big difference there. So work on the emotion, work on the chart work, right? Because trading doesn't come to you overnight. It certainly doesn't. It's not like how social media portrays it. So you really have the time to understand how price moves and able to capitalize on it, time and time again. Nasdaq, same idea, right? Same idea. Sending channel, pushing the price up. We're correcting. We're not in an impulsive phrase. We're just now wait for price to break out of this correction and then continue to the lows, right? Same approach, same kind of move as S&P and Dow Jones I just went over. Certainly, if they're going to drop, they're all going to drop at the same time, right? We know that's how the indices move. We know they've been always being very well somewhat correlated when it comes to a bearish market for a bearish sell-off. So expect them to do the same for the upcoming, time, right? But as this correction still corrects, then this can goes on indefinitely, and nothing is wrong with price action. As I always say, is the correction will never know how deep, how long, or how wide it can go, but we know that when the correction finishes, the impulsive phrase will take over, and we're likely to, get a very good risk reward probability trade to get in, right? Then the the safe side is trying to stay out of the market when nothing is finished yet, because a lot of traders get trapped into this consolidation, right? As I always talk about, when I want to enter trades, I don't want to get trapped in the consolidation phase because the price is not moving much. You want to be in the impulsive phase of the market because that's when the price is moving, right? That is how the price is going to move very rapidly and very high momentum. You don't want to get trapped in the consolidation phase, which is what the phase we're in right now. Okay, that's indices I want to go. A very similar price action once again. We're getting this kind of ascending channel within an extending of this kind of expanding structure, which is good because it's showing us that um, we're just preparing the market here for a potential reversal. This is phrase, action phrase, right? This is not moving up or moving down much. This is correction that we're making. And most of the time, we're going to see a impulsive phrase followed by a correction to continue. But whereas this is becoming more of a reversal structure rather than a continuation to correct. So after this impulse finishes, very likely we're going to see a reversal impulse from the market. Okay, so be patient here, waiting to see if this correction can finish it, and then look for a breakout confirmation to the downside. All right, so that is all the indices I'm looking at. There's a few other ones I'll quickly go over. German 30, same idea. We're approaching this double top area, expanding structure, looking for potential downside. Euro 50, same idea, right? Expanding structure here, looking for a reversal from this pot to go down, right? Let me see what you guys are saying here. Could be talking a lot. Any question, guys? Any questions, let me know. If I'm going too fast, let me know as well. So just finished the indices market. I'm going to continue to crypto and commodities after. What will happen with Cardano? I'm going to go over indices. I'm going to go over crypto after, so I'll talk about that. That's so any question? No question on indices. Let's continue. I'm going to finish with commodities first. I'll wrap up with crypto. So let's look at a few commodities here. Natural gas. Natural gas. Some of you guys asked me to do natural gas. So let's take a look at natural gas here. See kind of what I'm looking at. So start with higher time frame here. We know from higher time frame perspective, we've been in this kind of a long range consolidation since wow, December 2008. So price has been in this correction. Okay, from a higher time frame perspective, this is certainly a correction. We're getting this kind of double bottom area, bottom of the structure, uh, potentially looking for a reversal to break out. Right, you can see there's several attempts for price to break out, never be able to break out. So, but when the correction finishes, correction has to finish sometime. Correction doesn't correct forever. So eventually, we're going to see a finish of this correction here, and this is looking more as a reversal correction now for this bearish move, and likely we're going to see continuation from this bottom here. Going down to the lower time frame here, we can see that we have similar price action here, this impulsive move to the upside, and then we have this kind of a falling kind of channel, so to speak, a flag almost, and then we continue to the upside again, which is good. And again, we're forming a larger flag, right? This is a larger flag. We're breaking out now, which is the first confirmation I look for. Second confirmation to look for is, are we going to get continuation here? Looks like it's continue here. Okay, so certainly this is potentially a buy opportunity, but I want to see a little bit more development. I want to see if we can actually break out, right? That's why we set entry orders. We don't enter as we break out. Certainly waiting for an entry order would be much nicer, right? Let price tag you in instead of, thinking this is where the price is going to reverse now. What if this just keeps start dropping and you just take an unnecessary loss here, right? So last confirmation, you entry order. If this corrects itself and tag you in, great. Or if this start dropping, then your entry won't be taken, then no loss for you either. All right, so that's my take on natural gas. So let's look at sugar. So sugar is the trade I'm still in. Those of you who've been following me, been holding it since probably December, if I remember. So it's about 2 weeks now that I've been holding. So I like how if we look at the higher time frame here, this was that previous top. We managed to break above that previous top now, which is what I'm expecting it to do. And now that it breaks the top, we break it impulsively. Last confirmation for me is to wait for some sort of lower time frame correction to continue the upside. Okay, so my entry here, now that price has already broken that previous swing high top, I moved my stop loss to 1-to-1 profit, and we'll see what price do in this area. Preferably waiting for another correction, maybe some correction like this, or maybe just a small correction like this, and to continue the buy move. Okay, certainly seeing this has lots of potential now. Now that we broke this all-time, or not all-time, the previous swing high, which is a good sign that we're likely to continue with the continuation. So I'm happy to hold this trade, and this is the same approach. I'm happy to hold the trade even if we break above that previous swing high. And I mentioned I didn't move my stop loss to 1-to-1 yet because I did that from the last trade I took before. Kind of price tagged me out before it just resumed the previous bullish trend. So I managed to miss all this. That happens in trading, but this is why you journal your trade. You learn from your past journal. You know that potential adjust that you can make to your trading, to your plan, and this is what I did in this case. All right, so like I said, likely to I'm very happy to hold the trade. We'll see what happens in the upcoming, weeks or month. Certainly, if we see bullish continuation, bullish price action, I will certainly hold the trade. But manage accordingly, and might look to take profit, or I might look to obviously move your stop loss to secure more profit, so and so. All right, so that is sugar for me. I'm running about almost 4%, I think. Let's talk about it's a trade that I didn't get in, but I know some of you guys got in my Telegram, so which is great. You guys got in from the sell here, and you guys were looking at the sell as well. I think it's all valid. I think it's all good. So if you're in the sell from here, or if you're in the sell from here, good. Certainly this can continue to the. So what we'll do is see if we can complete this overall continuation correction, which is pushing down more and more, which is great. Okay, so this kind of price action is looking great for continuation, right? We know that from a higher time frame, this structure is potentially going to finish. We have few lows. We had this push down, we followed by ascending channel correction, reason double top, head and shoulder pattern here. So everything is showing a good confluence. I personally didn't get into the trade, but good job on those guys who got in the group. This pushed down massively and followed by continuation correction, and this is likely to continue. All right, so that's my take on silver. I will be more paying attention to it now. If we can break out followed by continuation, then I might look for a trade like this, because now that we complete a higher time frame correction after this push, certainly can see a continuation out of this correction that we're forming in right now. Let's continue. I'm new join. How much you miss? Quite a bit, probably. You can rewatch these streams and stuff on TradingView or YouTube after. So so let's continue to gold. I know most of you guys are looking at gold. Very sim approach at silver. So those of you guys might got into this sell here. From this top, we have this ascending channel. We push down. First potential continuation. We push down again. Another continuation. I mentioned this is likely to happen and this is likely to drop. But I personally not looking to get into this sell. The reason being, again, it's just my trading plan, right? Everyone trades differently, so there's no right and wrong when it comes to trading. Is what I see on the higher time frame ultimately is, to me, the higher time frame is in that bullish trend still, right? So as this structure continues to develop and form, the more of my bias is signaling that this is a bullish move, this is a continuation correction. Once this correction finishes, we're likely to see the next bullish move. That is how I always see the market from a multi-time frame top-down approach. That is how to distinguish a lot of good trades to mediocre trades, in my opinion, is to filter them on the time frame to give you the same bias, right? So right now, to me, the higher time frame is showing me a bullish trend to continue, whereas the lower time frame is showing me a potential short reversal from top, right? Ascending channel, push down. Not that the move won't happen. It's very likely to happen. I actually want it to happen. So the price push the bottom of the structure and then potentially reverse from this point forward. So I do want to see that to happen, but it's just in my plan to not enter these. Okay, but it's certainly in plans for a lot of other people to look for this short-term sell at least to the lows. Certainly has a probability to break out below and continue, right? Don't get me wrong. It's just that my bias for the higher time frame is that buy, right? So I'm kind of waiting and see what the price will do once we hit the bottom here. Can we complete this higher time frame structure and look for that reversal push to the upside here? All right. So that is my take on gold, guys. Any question, let me know. And then if not, I'm going to finish up with crypto. So some of you guys asked about Cardano. Yeah, I mean I see Cardano only going up. We see a correctional phrase. We see that first impulse followed by correction. We have another impulse up. Then certainly this is a continuation correction. So obviously price can move down or move up or whatever, but the point is when it breaks out, followed by continuation, is going to give you a sign, right? It's as good. This is kind of exactly what I want to see. I want to ultimately see we break that previous high though and form a continuation. I will get in this trade. Certainly is a good buy opportunity. If we zoom out here on the higher time frame here, the pre area before that massive drop, right? So the key here again is to wait for what price will do. Can we break above this previous high and continue? Then certainly we're going to be a full-on bullish trend now, or we're going to get kind of rejection or a reversal from this top. So far for me, I'm not seeing that, at least from a lower time frame perspective. We have a push up, correction, push up, correction. Want to see this break above that line and then continue with the continuation. Okay, so I like how we're already moving up. There's a small lower time frame correction, in my opinion. I personally didn't get into this, but I wanted to see price ultimately break that previous high, break a previous high impulsively. So we know that the double top, a potential double top, is no longer valid, and we're likely to continue to the upside here. Okay, so that is Cardano. It's looking really clean. I'm looking to see that this entry to form and looking to get capitalized on this trade as well. Bitcoin, yes. In this trade I'm still in. What I expect price to do is a couple things. So I want to ultimately see what price will do, right? There's two options here. It's forming this kind of continuation correction, which is good. So either price to break out followed by small lower time frame correction to go, or this is going to just trickle down once more to this previous bottom, which is what a lot of people are selling here, or panic sell, so to speak, and then just form a double bottom here, form a larger correction, and then we're just taking off afterwards. So that's the two options I'm seeing right now. It doesn't really matter what happens, preferably. Preferably is, a double bottom would be signifying that this is just a larger structure we're making now, and we're just a larger structure to correct all this move, and we're just going to take off afterwards as well. Okay, still, there's obviously a chance that this is a correction that we're making now. We're breaking out, we can just adjust the structure a little bit, and then seeing that once price pushed down to the lows here, and then reverse back up to the top. Okay, so either way is possible. So I don't need to speculate or anything. Just want to see this as a more long-term investment, seeing it as certainly a potential to continue. It's just, is it going to continue now or is it going to continue later? We'll see how the price give us. Okay. Ethereum, yes. Personally, remember when we was forming this ascending channel, I mentioned be careful, don't jump into this. We had the price push down now. Is this forming another ascending channel? Likely. But is this going to be the push down? Nothing is confirmed yet. So what it's doing is just forming a larger correction, right? Something like this that the Bitcoin I talk about to correct all this move, and then we'll just continue upwards as well. Remember, we're very approached to that top now, right? Well, we broke this previous high, right? And then we're approaching. This is key here because we've seen Bitcoin easily just break the all-time high and then continue with a large continuation. So right, you can see this was a previous high. Once it breaks above, we're just in a massive trend, bullish trend now. So same thing can happen to pretty much all the other crypto. Okay, so you want to wait for is obviously that price breaks above, right? And followed by continuation because you don't want to get trapped when it's so close to the top now. Okay, we can just hit the top here, maybe break above a little bit. Remember, breaking trend lines or breaking some, ray line doesn't mean that price is going to do. Has to be lower time frame showing you the same thing as well. All right, so longer term line certainly is seeing something that can continue, but for now, be a little bit more patient is to wait for a little bit clear price action on the lower time frame to continuation. Okay. So Link did exactly what we're looking for, right? Link broke out from this bottom here. So we see a correction forming. Remember I mentioned either a correction here would be nice, but ultimately I want to see a correction after we break this all-time high. So exactly what the price is doing. We broke the all-time high now, which is good. So continuation is key here, right? Looking for continuation correction now to take the next trade up. Certainly is looking very like Cardano or any other Ethereum as well. We have to wait for a break above previous high. I think that's going to give you a better probability trade than to look for further upside here. Okay, so definitely on my kind of watch list for the upcoming week as well. Seeing there's so many opportunities on the crypto, mostly looking very bullish to me. Obviously, just choosing one or two best as I'm already in two of them already. So someone asked me about Litecoin. Yeah, I want to update Litecoin a little bit because this is one of those example where you see this is the previous swing high. Is on the other ones, I want to wait for price to break above it and then continue to confirm my buy. Otherwise, this is kind of what I'm seeing on Litecoin right now is we hit that previous high. This is that previous high that price is at, and we pretty much just had a bearish and looking like we're trying to continue to the downside, right? This looks like it's potentially forming a head and shoulder or something like that. And this is why you want to be careful, right? Because this to me right now is not showing any bullish move yet. We were showing pretty good bullish move, from this bottom here. We've been picking up, kind of reject this previous swing high top here. And that's why I'm going to be a little bit more hesitant to, looking for any bullish opportunity, is rather to see if price is manageable to break above that high again and continue. Otherwise, not too interesting on this one. Okay, so among the pairs or crypto that is shaping up. I'll go over oil after. I just want to finish all the crypto first. RAN, I'll go over that after. I don't use ATH. I think that's an indicator, right? So, Neo. So Neo, I like the price action here, right? Very similar. We had this bullish push to upside correction, large bullish push, larger higher time frame correction, and we're breaking again. So certainly has potential. I think the key here is waiting for some sort of development here, and then continue to the upside here. Okay. Certainly like these kind of price action. Well, after a strong bullish impulse, large higher time frame correction. This is what you want to see to correct all this bullish move and to resume the next bullish trend here. Okay. Last one to go over is Stellar. So I'm in Stellar trade. Let me just go down to lower time frame to be more clear. Remember, I got into the Stellar trade here for my last trade. Took me out for about 0.5%. I'm fine with that. That's just how I manage my trade. Looking for the long term, right? So I'm not, trying to take, 2-3% profit. I'm looking for long-term perspective on most of the crypto. You see here on the higher time frame, I want to see ultimately price break the previous high and then continue more and more, right? Certainly has that tendency, just like every other crypto. When we see this overall scoop formation, just like Bitcoin, just like Ethereum, just like every other crypto, we've been seeing that similar market condition. So I do expect the same here as well. So see it more as a long-term approach, right? Long-term hope. What I'm seeing here now on the lower time frame, we had this break to the upside, right? We followed by this kind of correction here, and then we break the upside again. So that was my entry. I went over this, I think. I went live on this trade, I think, in the New York session last week. Nothing has happened. Still, stop loss at 1% loss. Almost tagged me out here, but I didn't get tagged off for my broker. Still in this trade. Let's just see what happened here in the upcoming week. Um, Certainly, in my opinion, after a bullish push, I expect the bullish trend to continue. Okay, it's a little bit stalling here, but I already make up my mind to hold this trade anyways. So I'm not going to let the result get into me. I understand the risks involved and I understand the potential on the time frame as well. Okay. So that is Stella. Any other question, guys? Any question on these? I'll go over some all-time high. Okay. So RAN USD. Yeah, I mean, if we really zoom out here, we talk about the same. This is the all-time high you mentioned, right? We broke all-time high, which is good, but don't start jumping into the buy, right? Wait for a continuation. That's what price has to do to continue a move, anyways. Okay, so look for some sort of continuation, right? This is just a smaller scoop than the ones that I mentioned on those daily and weekly higher time frame, but same idea, right? You have some sort of previous high that the price has accumulated to, and then you have a period of kind of a correction of praise, what you want to call a period of, you know, consolidation, and then eventually price resume the bullish trend. So WTI, yeah, let's go over oil really quick. Um, I think I mentioned this. I mentioned about I want to keep an eye on oil here when we hit this kind of previous swing high area before all this kind of bearish move. It went below zero, all that. We're pretty much recover right back to where it is again, right? If you notice, certainly this price action here on the lower time frame, it looks like it's forming a double top. Looks like it's forming a potential M style pattern. um, That's not enough for me to justify a trade yet because I'm not really seeing any other structure or any other price action yet. Okay, we did hit this top, which is okay. I mentioned it doesn't have to, the double top doesn't have to hit this top, but I'm not seeing too much price action yet. I would prefer some sort of ascending channel or actually a strong push down followed by a correction. Nothing is yet, so I'm not seeing any sell opportunity. But certainly my bias right now is potential a sell, right? Because we have recovered all this price already. I do expect price to at least make some sort of pullback before it's going to continue. And we're at this area now where price on the lower time frame at least it's stalling. It's forming a little bit reversal price. So that is what I see on oil. Any other question, guys? Any question on any other pairs? I'm happy to go over, or any question for me personally. Happy to answer questions as well. Gold. I went over gold. I can go over gold again. Um, there is a sell opportunity which is pretty much happening already. Probably already missed this, but I mentioned this is a sell opportunity at least to the lows of the higher time frame correction, so somewhere here. Um, the reason being I'm not interested because my higher time frame approach is still up, so I don't really want to trade when I have conflicting bias. That's just in my plan though. Everyone trades differently, everyone follows their trading plan differently, so it's all up to you as a trader. So, anyways, I certainly see this as a downward trend. Can certainly push down to the lows here, or certainly even break the low as well. So don't get me wrong, that doesn't I didn't mean that this will not continue to the low side. I just meant that my bias from the higher time frame is looking for a potential buy if this correction finishes. So I'm not too interested for this kind of short-term sell, expecting at least my expectation is this can reverse off this point forward. Okay. Try not to think of it as exact dollar amount, right? I'm talking about overall price action. I want to see what will happen to this double bottom here or bottom this trend line. It doesn't matter if it breaks the trend line or breaks some dollar amount. It's about lower time frame price action. Is it showing me reversal price action, or are we just seeing strong bearish move breaking down and continue? Then obviously it's going to be in a more bearish trend, and my buy bias is no longer valid, right? And I'll learn to adjust it, right? But for now, that's kind of how I see. When you draw a trend line for a pattern, do you have specific rules for where you would start or end the trend line, etc.? Specific high or lows? Um, this is how I draw the trend lines. There's many ways to draw the trend lines, so don't quote me on someone say this is the right way or the wrong way. The way how I use trend line probably different than people use trend line, but all I use trend line is to frame the structure, right? I talk about this many times in my stream. I draw the trend line usually always after a impulsive move has happened. After a impulsive move has happened, I start seeing any recent highs and lows and trying to connect them. Recent highs and lows trying to connect, at least two tops and two bottoms, right? Recent highs, recent lows to connect after an impulsive phrase. Okay, hope that makes sense. And when it comes to trend line, my years of experience is that everyone draws them. Everyone tends to draw them differently, and everyone's kind of like, is this the right way or your way is wrong? Or there's really no right or wrong way. It's like, as example, guys, people who trade support and resistance. Is everyone's support and resistance line all going to be the same? I doubt it, right? So people have a trend line here. I mean, people have a support resistance line here, here, whatever, right? They have support resistance line everywhere, and everybody have their support resistance line all not the same, right? You want to put a support resistance line here, yeah, you can justify it, or you want to put it here, you can justify it, right? So there's no like one way of doing certain things, right? So what ultimately, at least the way how I trade using the trend line is to frame the structure as I talk about this. Once you frame the structure, you understand that in this example here, remember I had the trend line like this, and when the price break to the upside, I said, don't jump into the buy, wait for confirmation because price can just evolve the bigger structure and then the correction still not above outside, and then there was no continuation and price just popped to the downside. And that's how you're going to save money on trading is you don't let because price breaks some trend line, you just jump into a trade. I think that's too early. Something like this is how the market catch a lot of impatience continuation, right? If you don't see that's a signal from the market that hey, we might be getting into a larger structure now. This so far with this part is not big enough or deep enough to correct all this move. We're just going to see a deeper consolidation before the up move. Then adjust your trends because that's the most recent swing highs and swing lows. And then this can push down one more time, maybe a third touch of this trend line here, and then resume the bullish trend. Okay, so that's kind of how I see it. Just based on experience, when I look at people's chart, when I do coaching and people's chart, they tend to draw the trend line different than me, and they always ask me if they're doing it wrong. I don't think they're doing it right or doing it wrong. It's just how you see the market conditionally, right? So what do I see on dollar CAD? Yeah, well, I don't really like dollar CAD out of all the dollar pairs. I mentioned this as well, right? There's just better dollar pair that is looking out, right? There's few dollar pairs shaping up to be better, right? It's all getting the bearish move. And dollar CAD originally had my attention when this break up and continue, but this kind of traps, this kind of just consolidate a little bit more. And I'm trying to find a structure. I'm trying to draw a structure in this. To me, is not even as clear as a couple other dollar. You can see it's not even on my watch list because that's how I filter them. Of course, if this breaks out followed by continuation, I certainly see that can happen and just giving you a clue that all the dollar pairs are getting strength anyways, and thus we can continue to upside. But for now, I'm not seeing that yet. I'm not seeing any bullish trend yet, whereas a couple other dollar pairs are much cleaner in that sense. Any other question, guys? I'm happy to answer some question about everything. So my approach on Aussie Yen, well, nothing changes, right? Aussie Yen, we broke down now, so look to see what price will do at the bottom, right? If we continue to the low, I want to see what happens on the lower time frame. Is it if it's very correctly moving down, then I don't want to hold the trade. If that's going to bounce off, I'll move my stop loss, whatnot, whatever. But if we just impulsively break out of this overall ascending channel, then certainly I will be looking for continuation. I'll looking for scaling opportunities. I'll look for better, scaling opportunities down to the lows here, right? And then I'll hold the first trade, obviously. So you'll just see first trade profit, second trade profit. This is the same example as CAD Yen, if you guys recall, where I took CAD Yen here. My first trade was obviously looking to see if we can break all the way to the lows. And then as trade pushed down more and more and more, I was waiting for a continuation, right? I mentioned about there was a continuation I was looking at. No loss here, and then because I scale in for the second trade, I had to move my first trade to 1-to-1. So at the end of the day, if my second trade was at a loss, I'm just at break even for both of them. Okay, so that's just how I manage my trade, how my risk management are when it comes to scaling position here on Aussie Yen, right? We can just push down from here. And then if there's a possibility for a scale in, I will look to scale in. I'll move my stop loss to at least 1-to-1, and then I'll look to hold both trade down, right? So yeah, so if you guys are interested in these, make sure you follow me on Telegram or YouTube. That's where I post all the okay. No, I don't bombard with the charts. I mean, I don't bombard the channel. I just post, where my streams links are, my YouTube videos, what I'm watching out for the day or for the week, and that's where I update them mostly. All right. So, any other question, guys? You stream. Ask me. You can ask me now, or you can ask me in Telegram as well. Happy to answer those as well. Anything you're looking at for the upcoming day? Well, lots of them, I guess. We'll talk about Aussie Yen. I mean, I'm sorry, Aussie dollar. Aussie dollar certainly is looking like we can continue and break out from here. Same thing with Kiwi dollar. We're already, breaking out from this correction, which is great. Euro dollar as well. We're breaking down already, so look for a breakout followed by a continuation. Um, Aussie Yen, I'm already in, right? Waiting for the price to break out and continue. Euro yen is looking good as well. Actually, looking very good that we break out from this overall ascending channel. I think a larger correction here would be nice to get in. Kiwi yen, same idea. Looking very clean. We have this continuation. We're potentially breaking out this ascending channel. So again, key here is wait for the price to break out and wait for a continuation, right? Wait for that larger head and shoulder pattern to develop to give you that confirmation sell. and Kiwi CAD, Kiwi Swiss, all looking potentially looking for that downside momentum. And just a couple of the indices, right? Nasdaq looking for the reversal. Same thing with S&P and Dow Jones as well. Commodities went over gold, right? Went over gold, potential sell here. Silver as well. Silver already kind of moved, so potentially missing out for continuation if it's going to develop, and look to get into more positions. And lastly, for crypto, Cardano, I remember I mentioned you can wait for a price to break above that all-time high and then continue. I mentioned as well, either wait for this structure to complete and then wait for a breakout to continue, or wait for a double bottom to form and continue to the upside as well. Link is breaking above that high, so here would be. And lastly is Stellar. Stellar is still in, waiting for a little bit more development, waiting for some bullish move to come in from this area. All right. So that is pretty much it, guys. Not much else that is on my watch, but things are shaping right. My what do I not say? I always tell you guys, don't rush onto any trades, don't jump into trades and things like that, because you don't want to be an impatient trader, right? This is what I'm always emphasize in my group and in my channel and all that stuff is, don't look at trading as how the social media portrays it, guys. They don't portray it correctly and realistically enough, right? From a real trader, they will tell you that's not how trading is, right? You're not gonna take profits after profits. You're not like it's not how it works, right? Your job as a trader is in the market. You are consistently making small profit, and consistently compounding your account, right? You don't jump from $100 to 10,000, in a month, right? That's not how trading works. But that is how trading is portrayed on social media, right? That's on social media showing you how to make money so fast, how to flip your $100 into, 1,000, 10,000, whatever the case may be. I'm not speculating, if they're right or wrong. It's more like that's not sustainable, right? That's not sustainable. For you to the profits, you also need to risk massive money. It doesn't work in one way. Everything you do in trading is a double-edged sword, right? You don't just suddenly make so much profit without risking so much as well. It doesn't work that way. You don't risk $1 to make $10,000, right? It doesn't work that way, guys. Much money, you're also over risking, over trading, over leverage your account. So maybe that's sustainable for $100 account because $100 maybe to people are nothing. But is that sustainable for a $100,000 account? Taking 20, 30 trades in a day, percent potential, losing 20, 30% on $100 is not too much, right? But losing 20, 30% on a $100,000 account, I think most people will probably go puke. Okay, so that's the really difference of it, right? A lot of people are showing you how to try to flip your $100 account. Ultimately, it's not if you want to be a consistent trader in the long term, because everything you do in trading has to be scalable. You know what I mean by scalable? Meaning that if you trade $100 account, you should trade the same as if you're trading $10,000 account or a $100,000 account. Okay, your trading style, risk management should not change. It should all be the same. But what people end up doing is when they $100 account, they're trying to jump to $10,000 right away, and usually end up blowing their account in no time. Right? I think everybody will agree. They will blow the account that way when they're trying to jump from 0 to 100. Okay, so that's my honest opinion on trading and things like that. Of course, some may disagree with me, and that's okay. I'm fine with that. I'm trying to give a real expectation of trading to people, not those kind of get rich quick scheme. Trying to make unrealistic profit per month. I don't think that's sustainable or scalable in the long term. Okay. DXY, sure. So DXY here, I talk about this since last week or 2 weeks ago. I want to see the bullish breakout, right? Which is kind of where happening now. Again, don't jump into trade because it broke some trend lines, right? We want to see price action. We want to see development. We have a bullish push to the upside. Great. Is there a continuation to continue? We want to see continuation here to give us confluence, to give us positive confluence that the dollar will continue the strength. All right, so wait for some sort of lower time frame development here. It's likely the same with every other dollar pairs that we're seeing, especially euro dollar, because it's very like inverse related to dollar index, right? We're seeing this push to the upside, right? We're seeing this push to the upside before it drops, which is exactly what price trying to peg a lot of traders. It pushed to the upside, and then we break down, right? This is exactly what we want to wait for. A small continuation here to get in, but ultimately, you can you want to see a completion of this structure here, okay, and then continue down more and more and more is going to give you that extra confluence for the sell here. Okay, so I do have that bias. I do have a bias for dollar strength for the upcoming, month, whatever. Obviously, I'm just going to choose a few of them, trying to get in. Okay, and that's the difference of me. I'm not going to enter every single dollar positions. That's not how I trade, and that's not how to mitigate your risk. I see those people who on social media showing their MT4 account with multiple dollar pairs. Whether they're real account or not, it really doesn't matter. It's just I don't think that's sustainable. Sure, it's working well if the dollar is dropping, but what if the dollar isn't dropping and all of your positions are going to end up in a loss? Again, if you have a small account, $100 account losing, $20, $30, not too much. $100,000 account losing $20, $30,000 in a day. I think you'll give up in trading, right? It's kind of that mindset thing. So mitigate your risk, guys. Think about risk management, think about long-term approach, think about sustainability, think about scale on how you're going to stay in this game consistently in the long term. Okay, so that's my honest approach at least. Hey Jason, how's it going? Yeah. Hey Leo. But that's just my, like I said, I'll say this every time when I do the streams. Just trying to pass on what makes sense for me in trading rather than giving that kind of dishonest approach on things. So. Any other question, guys? Any other question for me? Do you think a breakout in DXY will cause BTC to drop? Not necessarily, I don't think. I personally don't think it's that matter. It's just most crypto I have to pair with dollars, right? So I don't think too much about it, to be honest. I'll obviously manage it accordingly, according to my plan. But for now, even when this dropped down, I didn't sell the trade. Right? I don't even care if this break takes me out for break even. Ultimately, my goal is to look for long-term hold on most of the cryptos, anyways. So I understand the potential structure that it could make, right? That's why I'm already anticipating this move can happen. This can drop down to this previous low again, and then resuming the bullish trend. Again, tagging a lot of impatient traders out because there's obviously a lot of people buying Bitcoin in this area. This is why the price is forming a little bit of consolidation or some sort of movement, right? You see this sharp move to the downside because there's a lot of buy people in this area. It takes them out right away and then resume, and then a lot of buy here again, and then likely to be correction, take them out again, right? But understand price action, understand the nature of the market as I call. We know that this is a bullish trend. We know we can form a larger correction, and once the correction completes, we're still going to see the next push to the upside. Okay. Everything good first time join and just join? Good. Happy to see you guys. So, feel free to ask me questions in Telegram or YouTube or whatever other platforms I have. So, thanks again, Jojo, for being 100% legit. Appreciate. I'm honestly just trying to give you guys an honest, transparent way of trading. Just kind of tired of seeing a lot of social media stuff. Again, I'm not here to speculate what they are and stuff like that. I'm not here to tell you that they're scam or not scam or whatever. I'm just here to tell you kind of not sustainable or not realistic enough, in my opinion, in terms of trading. Obviously, they're just showing you what you want to see, right? What a trader wants to see, especially a beginner trader. When you see profit, 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 doesn't that just see? Because these guys are making profit off the profits. So if I follow these guys, if I pay them money, I should be making profits like them as well. Nothing be further from the truth, right? I've seen most of you guys who've been through that route of follow someone or pay someone, and at the end of the day, trading isn't what they portray, right? So we learn from that, even myself included. I mean, this year is my 8th year in trading. Um, I've been through that same kind of things in the past, right? You thought trading was easy, you joined, you lost money or you lost a bunch of money, and you learn from it. And this is the difference between a trader who wants to be consistent or a trader just thinking they're gonna get in and get out and make massive money in 1 year and leave and quit trading forever. That's not how it works, right? I understood all the mistakes I made in the past. I understood all the money I have lost in the past are just a journey for me to continue towards trading, right? You have to lose money, you have to make mistakes in order for you to improve in trading. That's just a fact. You don't suddenly buy into someone's course and you become a trading guru, you become a genius in trading in like a month. It just doesn't work that way, guys. I I hate to give you that bad news. It's just that's not how it works in trading. You can learn from the best strategy, the best lesson, the best whatever, courses, mentor, whatever it is, but you're not going to be a master in like 2, 3 months or a year, to be honest. You're just not going to be, because you just really need to put in that time and effort. Because even if you have the best strategy in the world, but if you don't have risk management, you don't understand trading psychology, you don't understand emotion, you don't understand mindset, um, you're not going to use those strategy to your full advantage, because you're going to get emotional, you're going to enter trades, you're going to get out of trades, you're going to revenge trade, you're going to do whatever you want to do, and then your strategy is all out the window because you're not even following it anymore, right? You let the emotion took over your decision factor there. Okay. First, have been there, done that. Yeah, I mean, everybody, at least we admit it. I think that's a big difference here. Is Kenny is like, we admit we are mistakes and we learn and we grow, whereas other people refuse to admit their mistake. They usually blame their strategy, they blame their mentor. The best of all, they blame the market. Okay, I hear people blame the market. So stop telling us what we can't do. No, you can do whatever you want, my friend. All right, so any other question, guys, before I wrap up the stream? Happy to answer more question in Telegram or whatever in the future. So can you tell me what's going on my screen? Nothing, just showing you a Bitcoin chart. Um, Last thing I want to touch base on, nothing else. I think I touched base on everything already. So altcoin going to pump in here. um, I do see most of the crypto are going to get bullish move, right? I talk about this as well, right? Especially Cardano, right? We talk about Cardano is pushing up, which is good, right? Certainly breaking above this high will be opinion is all rising, right? There's some better ones like Link. Link certainly is breaking above now. So we're breaking above this previous high, which is good, right? So we're seeing bullish move. We just want to wait for bullish continuation would be nice. Dollar. Well, um, I like how we have an impulse, correction, impulse, continuation, correction, looking for the next impulsive move. That is very cool. Yeah, I mean, I do these streams 3 times a week. I post analysis as well. If you're interested, you can follow me. You can get more material. Um, Other than that, not much, guys. That's it. So we'll see what happens. I'll do a New York in a day or two. I usually do 3 streams a week, so I always update everyone in my channel when and what time I will do the streams. So if you follow my in the channel, you'll get all the links, and that's about it. Those are crypto, yeah, or what? Wicked, yeah. ZRX. All this is all first time looking at. I don't really look at these coin things. I really only focus on the main ones. If you notice, my crypto watch list is just the main ones. Um, Not seeing too much here, to be honest. Yes, we're pushing up, but I'm not seeing too much price action here, other than this is a potential push up, correction, push up. But it's kind of push down, followed by a reverse impulse here. Okay, so this can still be correcting in this area. PZX, or did you spell that right? I don't see that. All right, so will you follow you on Telegram? Thank you. Are you on Twitter? Yes, I am. If you get my here, I'll post my this link. You'll get all my platforms. Everything here is where all my preview, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, other things here down there. That if you're interested, you can see. If you mention this, yeah, I usually do a weekly outlook. I usually do a weekly outlook in the Asian session, which is now. So today, I try to do that when market opens. Okay, so that's my weekly outlook. Here, I think I can find it. Just give me a second. Okay, this is where I talk about everything. So this part of the section here, I usually do a weekly outlook on Monday morning. This is all GMT time, by the way. So I do a weekly outlook. So week, and then I'll do like a quick market update position in Telegram, and then I'll do a daily market update on Wednesday, and then another one on Thursday, and then followed by Friday, and I have trade recap videos. So for Monday, weekly trade recap videos, I mean weekly trade that we're in today, it's usually going to be at 23 o'clock GMT on Sunday night. Okay, Sunday night, 23 o'clock GMT. On Wednesday is when I do a New York session market update. So that will be on New York time, like GMT. And Thursday morning, I will do a London session market update, usually at 7 a.m. GMT or so. Okay, that's all. That's the time. Usually, I try to do a stream in different sessions. So one in Asian session, one in London, one in links and all that in my trading view. That's what I do. Another great session. Thanks, Jojo. Thanks, Yoki. You've been with me since the beginning. Good job. I mean, the beginning of this stream today. I saw your name in the beginning, right? So I want the links, make sure you have my Telegram, and I will always post the links there. Okay. So that is it, guys. That is it. I'll talk about an hour and a half already. Went over all the pairs that I'm looking for, and like I said, a few positions I'm in. Aussie Yen is the trade I'm in right now. Stop even, chilling around in the entry price time. Bitcoin, still holding. See what happened in this overall area. Sugar is another trade I'm holding, looking to see what will happen if we get continuation here to continue the upside. That is it, guys. So I'm in. I update that video as well. That's on TradingView and YouTube. Feel free to take a look at those. And I will see you guys all next time, right, guys? I will see you guys all in my next stream, or you feel free to interact with me in my group and ask questions accordingly. All right. So, guys, to tune in. I hope everyone have a wonderful week, and hope everyone to stay safe out there. And see you guys next time. All right. Thank you very much.